So my trip to Ireland was a mixed bag, to say the least. Between the sciatica and my sinuses and the weather changing every 5 minutes, it was not a good time. But the place itself is beautiful. If you haven't visited Ireland, I can highly recommend it. It's much less expensive than spending the same amount of time in New York. Like, it's not even comparable. The food's better, the people are better. Go to Ireland if you haven't gone. And now to the unflattering parts. I'm not releasing my tours of Cahill's or Peterson's because they would be unflattering to both of those places. At Cahill's of Limerick, the answer to most of my questions was no. Do we have this tobacco? Do you have this pipe? No. They don't sell Peterson tobacco in Ireland anywhere. Not at Cahill's, not at Peterson's of Dublin. What I did buy that was recommended for me were these two. So Fox Celtic and Fox Anniversary. These came recommended by the gentleman at Cahill's. Fox Celtic, these are just before I get into them, I'm not even going to smoke them. These are the worst tobaccos I've ever tried. I've never had bad tobacco until this experience. Fox Celtic, they both taste the same. I'll tell you what they taste like in a second. Fox Celtic is the black cherry cased one. If you've ever smelled Paladin black cherry, it's similar to that. And Fox Anniversary has the vanilla custard casing on it. They don't taste like those casings. And again, it's just, this is how tobacco is sold in Ireland. These are 20 euros each. It's about 25 bucks for 2 ounces each. So 20 euro, 20 euro. 25 bucks for 2 ounces, which is more expensive than any boutique tobacco I want to buy. Like, the Seattle Pipe Club Plum Pudding is less expensive than this. And these both taste identical. They both taste like crayons, sawdust, Elmer's wood glue, and cigarette ash. They both, that's what they tasted like. And I tried them through a bunch of pipes, and I'm leaving them aside because that was just a really bad experience. And when it comes to the pipes that were available at Cahill's, this was surprising. So I'll give a bit of good news first. I think I bought my first meerschaum pipe. I'm saying I think I bought my first meerschaum pipe because what happened was I asked the gentleman, hey, how much for that meerschaum up there? And he said, well, it's 60 euros. I said, really? Just 60 euros? I'll take it. I'm hoping I didn't mistake a clay pipe for a meerschaum pipe. And the saving grace that bodes well, it says made in Turkey on the shank. Screw the contrast, that's never gonna work. And this actually smokes decently. I'm keeping this in my collection. It's not just gonna sit on the shelf, it's gonna get smoked. The pipe selection that they did have some Petersons up on the wall, they had some Chacoms on the wall, they had a Falcon sort of off to the side and some meerschaums down at the bottom. But the selection really wasn't, it wasn't a flattering selection. Like, they were all old school looking pipes, rusticated wood, etc. There were two that I found that I thought, you know what, I'm gonna take a shot at these. And I regret doing so, because when I got back home, well, to where I was staying, I looked at the bottom, and I noticed that they both said Irish Seconds on the bottom. Both this one, which is a Peterson system pipe, and I'll tell you why this is an Irish Second, and this Dracula Rhodesian. So, when I first recorded this video, I said this was my least favorite pipe to smoke because when you get a quarter of the way down the bowl, it starts gurgling. And that's still true, but it fits in my mouth better than I realized, and the flavor is better than I realized. So on some level, I'm not too disappointed with this. And it says Irish Seconds on the bottom. If I were to sell it, there's no money to be gotten out of these. But what disappointed me was when I got back home here in New York, I went to order some pipe tobacco. I looked up how much these would be off of a website for a non-Irish Second. I realized I got fleeced. I got completely fleeced on these pipes. I paid 120 euros each, which is about 150 bucks, maybe 160, for pipes that cost $120 here in the States, not seconds. So blemish-free, perfectly good briar, and perfectly machined. If you see my review of Innsmouth, you'll see me smoking this, and my theory is that the wide set bowl of the Rhodesian and the cooling channels that they have on the side here, they keep the smoke cooler for any given cadence, giving you improved flavor depending on the blend you're smoking. It could be that you're smoking it too cold or whatever. But there's no excuse for this. I should not have bought this. This was a learning experience for me. The bowl on this is insanely thin over here on the side. There's a divot over here. I guess it was machined a little bit too much, and it feels like there's about that much briar. It's like 3.5 or 4 millimeters of briar on the wall over here on this pipe. I'm disappointed. I paid way too much for this as well. It also says Irish seconds on the bottom. I can't even really tell what pipe it is. It just says 05 and a 3. But I supported a local brick and mortar tobacco shop that had stood since 1870. Primarily they sell tea now. And Eleanor actually knows how to blend tea very well. She's very good at it. So that was the bad news about Cahill's. Let's move on to Peterson's of Dublin. I walk in with a list of pipes that I was looking for. I was looking for some Jekyll and Hydes, I was looking for the Rossler pipes, and I was looking for church wardens, which Cahill's did not stock a single church warden. Actually, this is the closest thing to it they had. Maybe you can call it a church warden, but it's complicated. Peterson of Dublin had one church warden in the whole store of like 200. It was mostly Irish seconds that they had, by the way, but I'm burnt out on those. I'm not going that route again. They had one church warden. It was rusticated with a plastic stem. There wasn't even a metal mounting, between the stem and the bowl. Very boring looking. Did not seem worth it. But I did buy something at Peterson's that I do enjoy, that I didn't expect to enjoy. I found this thing. It's probably hard to see, but it is green and it has a really nice burl on the briar. It's not going to come out in contrast here. I'll do a separate video on it when I get some good lighting. But this, I thought it was going to be too short for me to enjoy it, but it's not. It smokes great, and I love the look of it. It's a really high-end Peterson pipe. As far as Petersons go, it's got silver on both ends. I think it's a 608. That's a spigot on it. I think spigot 608. It's not an Irish second at all. The silver that they have on the bit and on the briar, you have to be apprenticed for about 5 years before they actually let you do that, before they let you apply silver to a bit or to the briar. And I appreciate things that require that kind of experience. Whether it's watchmaking or cigar rolling, even though I'm not a fan of smoking cigars personally, things that require skill to accomplish, or the great guitar makers, of course. Like I have a couple of nylon guitars and classic guitars. The craftsmanship that goes into those things and other things, especially things made of wood, I always appreciate that kind of thing.